Hey guys, welcome back to the Mountain Knights. So let's talk about should a person pursue mountaineering or not. Now I am interested in talking about this particular topic because of one particular thing that recently happened. In fact, I've personally felt that sometimes. However, I've seen few people emphasizing on this particular thing a lot, and that thing is the idea that breeds in the brains of many people that why should a person do mountaineering? What's the point going up in the mountains and dying, leaving behind your family? So these are the kind of ideas that breed in minds of many people. Now I'm not saying that I'm against your thoughts, or it's totally up to you, right? It's your own understanding, it's your own state of mind, and it's your own experience or maybe lack of experience. So nothing against you guys. Now I'll explain my version, my thoughts about the saying about the idea of going in the mountains, and should you climb, and why should you climb, right? And how should you climb, how to proceed ahead with the mountaineering. So I'll answer all these questions in this particular video. First, let me tell you something that back in 2013 when I started with mountaineering, right now it's more than 10 years, I was very clear about the fact that I am getting into mountaineering for a couple of things. Number one, it is a platform, it's a craft that I can learn well and I can do well in it over the period of time. For that I had basic understanding of what mountaineering is, right? I did not get into mountaineering with a blind eye, right? Second, I had a lot of aggression stored in me during those time. I'm not saying it's completely over. By nature I am an aggressive guy. When I say aggressive, I don't mean to say angry, but I had and I still have a lot of energy stored. But back then, 10 years ago, that energy was not getting utilized well, or it had not been utilized well. So I wanted a platform where I utilize my potential, utilize my mental and physical energy, where I have a sense of leadership, where I have the opportunities to learn from the people, those who have done great in mountaineering and overall in life, and become a better person by learning the craft, deploying my leadership skills, aggression, and be a more confident person by adopting skills that I believed, and skills in which I was very confident that I'll be good at. So these were the reasons for me to choose mountaineering, right? So I got into mountaineering, right? Definitely there was challenge, there was leadership, there was huge scope to learn new things, climb peaks, have a sense of achievement, and come out as a better human, come out as a better young leader, and contribute back to the society in whatever capacity I could during those time, still and in the future. So this overall was my driving force towards getting into mountaineering. Now for this purpose I did not take a foolish path. I trained myself before enrolling myself in a basic mountaineering course, right? I completed all the courses and simultaneously I started climbing, right? And before I was a full-fledged instructor, I had already climbed good amount of peaks, right? So before beginning I had set a goal for myself that I would be climbing at least 10 peaks. However, they are much more than that over the period of time. But I followed a systematic path, right? I climbed the ladders step by step. All right, there's a saying that goes that says feel the lighter ground and then think of going ahead with a bigger ground. So my idea was very simple, and I was very clear about it that I will be proceeding systematically. I will be taking up the challenges that I can handle, and I will keep taking up the challenges. Now coming over this thing that people feel why one should go to the mountaineering, and it's just totally an absurd thing to do, risking your lives in the mountains, leaving behind your families, spending so much of money and XYZ thing. Well, there are people who think like this, like I said before, for their own reasons. Well, let me put my understanding to it. Well, there are category of people to which I personally belong, where you need challenges, right? Challenges feed your soul. You become a confident person, right? And you want to do it over and over so that you continue to feel good and confident about yourself, right? That's why you need challenges. That's why you're an adventurous person. You need to satisfy your adventure thirst, All right, now when I say this and when I proceed ahead with this, I personally don't prefer, and I haven't been reckless, unorganized, non-futuristic approach person. Right, I've had a very practical approach. There's a saying that also says that passion without responsibility is foolish. I totally believe in that. Right, you got to be responsible for yourself, your near and dear ones, your loved ones, and you should proceed ahead towards your challenges accordingly. Now, when you proceed ahead towards your challenges, you must understand, especially in extreme adventures, there's potential scope of injury, there's potential scope of losing your life. But that does not mean I personally would not recommend, I would not feel like staying away from those challenges. In fact, I would be more driven towards them if I feel, yes, I can handle them. Right, now there are n number of challenges in the world. I cannot take all the challenges. Right, I will take only what I can handle. I will eat what I can digest. Right, so I know that there is a challenge, there is a potential risk, right, and I don't want to be losing my life, because I want to live. Life is meant for living. I want to challenge myself. I want to take up the opportunities and I want to achieve them. I want to come back alive so that I can continue doing them over and over. This is the basic mindset that I personally recommend and I personally have, because if you live to fight, right, you must fight to win, and to continue winning you must stay alive. Right, so you got to keep balance. All right, and how you do that? You prepare well, you understand what you're getting into, you prepare well, right, you proceed ahead, you execute your task, right, you try to achieve success as much as possible. Even if you have to turn back, let's say from the mountains, you do not submit for any reason, it's not end of it. Right, a good mountaineer is the one who is not only capable of climbing but also returning back safe. Right, mountaineering excellence according to me lies to quite a large extent not only in physical abilities but also mental abilities and your ability to read the signs and take right decisions. All right, it's much more than a sport. All right, this is my understanding. You are not only responsible for yourself, you are also responsible for people beside you, people you're leading. All right, and every person in a mountaineering in a team should be leader in himself or herself. It is for me not just a act of going up the mountain and coming back. Right, now over the periods I realized that mountaineering is a lot art of suffering, which is true. Why I call it art of suffering? Because it's pure challenge. From morning to evening there are very, very few moments where you are relaxed. Rest, you are preparing for tomorrow's climb. When you reach, you are again busy for the coming day. All right, you are going through a lot of difficulties, a lot of odds against you. All right, that is why mountaineering is a lot about art of suffering, how you come back successfully through that path of suffering. Right, and it's only suffering that makes you a better human being. Now once you are a better human being than what you were yesterday, you definitely feel good about it, and that's the reason you want to do it again. There have been many chances where up in the peaks, up while climbing towards my next destination in the mountains, I have felt, what the hell I'm doing here, right? What's the point coming over here? That's very natural for anybody to feel. But you should also remind yourself that you came here for a reason. You came here to prove yourself to yourself, right? Not to anybody. That is why I call it a personal quest. Mountaineering to me is a personal journey. Why I call it personal journey? Also because no matter how many peaks I climb, right, if I am not contributing something towards the betterment of others, right, it's not making any difference. Right, now I climb 100 peaks. I definitely have a sense of achievement. I come out as a person who has utilized his potential. But what more than that? According to me, I would like to give it back to somebody in some way or the other. Right, and my way of doing that was to become a mountaineering instructor, where I train people, where I empower them through skill, where I share my experiences with them, where I clarify their doubts, and likewise they become a better human being. Because no matter how much sermons you give, experiences you share, it's not going to be much difference until and unless you do something practical, right? And empowering people by teaching them a craft is going to make them much more confident, right? Training them through hardships is going to make them much more better human being. And like this, it's the kind of contribution that I have from myself to the my country, my society, and world overall. So whatever I'm contributing bit by bit, to me it makes sense, right? That's the reason I call it personal quest. So these are the few reasons because of which I feel yes, one should pursue mountaineering, right? Now I'm not saying this is the only challenging arena, challenging platform. There are multiple. You can choose whatever suits you. To me this makes sense, this suits me, and it has brought a lot of positive results to me, not because it is easy, because it has been and it will be difficult. It gives me opportunity to feel, live, and contribute certain attributes which I mentioned in the beginning of the video: leadership, physical challenge, mental challenge, learning a craft, becoming a better professional, right, and so on. Now coming over to the practical part of it, right, I won't say just keep doing mountaineering and do nothing else. Life is much more than just one thing, right? Like I said, I always wanted to contribute, but before I contribute I had to be a confident person in myself, right? For that I continued to climb, continued to learn, continued to chip out the rough edges of myself. Now when I felt now it's the time where I can contribute to somebody else, I started doing it in the form of mountaineering instructor, right? Now in this process I not only made a difference to, I'm sure I made a difference to some of you, some of my trainees. This is what I'm confident about. You people can tell better about that, but it made a lot of difference to me. I had a lot of satisfaction that I'm not only doing a noble thing, okay, I'm not only staying in touch with my grooming, right, I'm also earning a decent amount of money. Now it is not as much as I could have earned in my IT profession, which I left back in 2013, but still whatever I'm doing, it makes a lot of moral difference to me, right? Now once you are into mountaineering, right, a lot of people might have the question about the monetary part. Well, as a mountaineer, once you are at the stage where you feel now it's the right time, right, you can always start earning. It is a long road, it is a difficult path, it's not as easy as possible, or it might seem, but you can always become a mountaineering instructor. You can have personal guiding company, adventure company, right? You can get a job in adventure company that are already existing, and you can earn your bread and butter accordingly, right? And rest is totally upon your abilities to grow your own marketing abilities, your own abilities to grow your brand and your skills, right? So that's all from my side as far as the question of or the idea why a person should climb is concerned. So keep climbing, keep becoming a better human being, keep growing, and as far as I'm concerned, I would keep liking to I would always like to contribute towards the betterment of others. Only then it would make sense to me. So going up in the mountains is definitely worth, but go with a practical and open mind. There's a simple saying that says prepare for the worst and hope for the best. Of course, mountains are not the place for anybody to die, right? I would always want to go to the mountains, come back successfully in one piece, and live my remaining life with my loved ones, my family, right? That should always remain in the back of my head, right? So I should go, take up the challenge, prepare accordingly, be very calculative in my decision making, be practical, right? No matter how much I push myself, I must not cross that fine line which says now it's time to turn back, right? Now despite of that, every precaution you take, right, no matter how experienced you are, something called as destiny, right, you cannot fight it, right? There are certain forces of the nature where you cannot do anything against them. So if something has to happen, it will happen, right? Even if you take every precaution or every right decision, right maneuver, right? So have that much guts and acceptability that anything can happen. However, you should be not acting reckless or stupid just by the fact that anything can happen. Your goal must be to reach, execute your task, come back with good memories or learnings, so that you can go back and repeat the same. That's all from my side. I mean, you have the right to differ. What I shared with you is completely my personal understanding, my personal opinion, my personal experiences. If you want to add something to it, you can feel free to leave it in a comment and get in touch with me personally. And if you like this particular video, like my channel, it would be great if you could like, share and subscribe. See you soon.